And just like that, CM Punk's illustrious wrestling career may be over. AEW were putting off not only its biggest pay-per-view to date, but one of the biggest wrestling shows ever produced, packing Wembley Stadium with 80,000 plus fans. Prior to his match, Punk was involved in another backstage dust-up, leading to his short-lived run with AEW coming to an unceremonious end. The divisive star is now left without a company to wrestle for, and AEW fans are left either cheering or jeering the decision made by promoter Tony Khan. So how did the relationship between CM Punk and AEW become so fractured that it led to Punk's dismissal? And where does the wrestling megastar go from here? Sit back, relax, and take this in. Punk's firing from AEW, which came barely 2 years after he joined the promotion, marks the culmination of his tumultuous tenure with wrestling's second biggest company. Back in August of 2021, after 7 years away from wrestling, Punk made his long-awaited return to sports entertainment. Except he didn't return to the WWE, the heavyweight promotion that made him a superstar. Instead, he joined new promotion All Elite Wrestling and made his debut on AEW Rampage in his hometown of Chicago. The hype for his return drew even more attention to the young promotion, which has been increasingly establishing itself as a legitimate rival to the WWE since being founded in 2019. And the marriage between Punk and AEW got off to a promising start after highly anticipated matches with the likes of Darby Allin, Eddie Kingston, and MJF. However, things began to turn sour in the summer of 2022 when Punk ended up on the shelf for several months with a broken foot. Then, upon his return in September, Punk went rogue during a press conference after the All Out pay-per-view and proceeded to tear into fellow AEW stars Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks, known to wrestling fans as the Elite. All while sitting next to the company's owner and promoter, Tony Khan. Awkward. To make matters worse, Punk then got into a physical altercation with Omega and the Bucks, leading to suspensions for all. And to rub salt in the wound, Punk suffered another devastating injury during the match itself. This time it was a torn left tricep that left him on the shelf for 8 months. In the world of wrestling, real-life feuds can often lead to the most compelling scripted storylines. The potential for an exciting feud between the Elite and CM Punk upon his return this past summer could have led to must-see TV. However, their real-life animosity was so extreme, it was impossible for them to get on the same page and do business, so to speak. That said, a meeting between the two sides, brokered by Khan himself, was scheduled for the week leading up to All In, their biggest pay-per-view to date at Wembley Stadium in London, England. However, the meeting was scrapped by the Elite, fueling Punk's continued frustration with the company. Once All In rolled around, a seemingly offhand comment made by a third party sent Punk over the edge. Punk reportedly got into a fight with Jungle Boy Jack Perry over Punk attempting to talk Perry out of using real glass during a dangerous spot with a car. Perry ignored Punk's concerns and after the bump looked directly into the camera and said,
"Real glass!
Crushing the
Go
abdomen.
cry me a river."
This led to Punk confronting Perry once he returned backstage and slapping a chokehold on him. This was moments before Punk was supposed to walk out through the curtain and wrestle Samoa Joe in front of 80,000 plus. According to wrestler insider Dave Meltzer, Punk had to be pulled off Perry before lunging in Khan's direction and telling him, "I quit," while knocking over a row of monitors. Punk did end up getting in the ring that night as Samoa Joe talked him down and they managed to get through their match. But the damage was done. After a week-long investigation led by an outside committee, Khan made the decision to fire Punk for cause, ending his short run with AEW. What made matters worse for Khan was having to announce the firing ahead of AEW's primetime Saturday show, Collision, in Punk's hometown of Chicago. Needless to say, the crowd was not happy. In the end, what should have been AEW's finest hour, a star-studded event that set a Wembley Stadium record for wrestling attendance, ended up being overshadowed by the drama that seems to constantly follow Punk around. Now that the so-called problem is gone, some seem to think AEW will have smooth sailing going forward. However, many of CM Punk's closest allies, like Tag Team FTR, still remain with the company, but are voicing their displeasure with the decision, both on the show and on social media. Plus, it was widely speculated that AEW's new TV deal, signed this past July with Warner Bros. Discovery, was based heavily around CM Punk being featured on their new Saturday show, Collision. As for Punk, who knows where he goes from here? His best bet in the wrestling world might be to return to his old stomping ground, which might not be as crazy as once thought. According to Fightful Inc., Punk was already open to the idea of returning to the WWE during his first AEW suspension, and hoped to work a program with Kevin Owens. Some might argue, however, that higher-ups like Vince McMahon and Triple H have no time for Punk's attitude. But if wrestlers like the Ultimate Warrior and Bret the Hitman Hart can return to the WWE after such public fallouts, then why not Punk? But what say you? Is AEW better off now that Punk's out of the picture? Will Punk make a triumphant return to the WWE and fulfill his dream of main eventing WrestleMania? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe. As always, we appreciate you. I'm your boy AB. We'll see you next time.